Hello everyone, this is your sensei, Joe Lau, and this is the Phyre Dojo.
All right, Dad, you're live.
Okay. All right. Get rid of that thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
That's him.
All right. We good?
You good?
All right. So we are doing our first ever live stream, and welcome to the Phyre Dojo. Now, just some full disclosure. We were going to use this camera to do all the filming, but something happened to it where it went on the fritz. So we had to do a lot of last minute figuring out, and we're using the actual laptop camera. So it might be a little awkward for us in the beginning, since we don't have a truly mobile camera. So, but we'll figure it out. So today we're going over the bamboo Phyre Saw from start to finish, right? And but however, starting does include and mean that you watch the preparation video from last week of what it is that you need to find, and the correct sizes that you have to find and what they're cut to, and so that we're just ready to rock and roll. By the way, that the intro you just saw, what year is it? 2020? I filmed that in 2010. That intro is 10 years old. So you're looking at a piece of history right there. When I first started filming all the things that I was doing 10 years ago. That was the absolute beginning right there. So, some of you may know that I'm not taking orders right now. Things are pretty busy here in the Lau residence, and especially my nursing work. I'm not taking orders for a couple months, and I'm still planning on trying to go to Japan in September. And by the way, Bill McConnell from the Tracker School is supposed to go there too and do a bow making class. So I want to put that out there that although Japan is famous for Kyudo, the big large bows, right? I don't think they've ever had a primitive bow making course, maybe in the whole country. So Bill McConnell may well be the first person to do a primitive bow course in the country of Japan. So he's supposed to do that the week after me in October, and we'll be there in September, October, and I can't wait to go back, and Bill can't wait to go for his first time ever to Japan. And I haven't seen Bill in a very long time, and I look forward to seeing him there. If this whole pandemic thing doesn't go through a second wave, which we hope it's not going to be terrible. But I've been busy making sets and things. So, like, for example, these are hand drill sets. They're all different species as well. This is not a commercial, by the way. I'm just kind of giving you an update on what I'm doing. This one's tulip poplar. This one is eastern hemlock. This one is out of an exotic wood named Bannock, B-A-N-A-K. This is pine. This one is made out of pine. These are hand drill boards. These ones are ready to go. some of these need some work. So this one is Western Red Cedar. This one's Western Red Cedar and not finished. So is this one. And this is Tulip Poplar as well and not finished. Okay. 2 more hand drill boards. Western Red Cedar. This one is redwood. I love redwood. Works just like cedar. And the color is amazing, isn't it? These are Bojo. This is a Bojo board of sassafras. And I wish you could smell that. It smells like sassafras. It's awesome. Oh, and this one, this is incense cedar. And this spot right here, by the way, is for your handhold. Your handhold goes in there. And then your spindles fit in here. So this one isn't finished yet. It needs work. And this one I've been waiting to do for a very long time. This is holly. And it's known as the whitest wood known. So if you want, like if a woodworker was trying to contrast something light and dark, if you wanted something really light, you would use holly, because holly is the lightest wood. It's a hardwood, and this one is for an Egyptian drill. And I just started working on it, but it's not finished, so we're working on that. Jake, you can put those down. All right, so we're here to do bamboo fire saw. Now I'm just gonna stress a few more points here, right? So here's what we wanted. We wanted pieces that were an inch in diameter across, right? We want them with the nodes that are 8 inches or more apart, right? And from one node to the next node, okay, we cut that in half there. And from on the other side, one node to the other node, we cut that there. And then we have an arm's length piece, okay? Because you're going to hold it, the saw portion, like this, all right? So you need to have a little bit of length, and there has to be a clear area in between where you hold your hands. And that is the purpose of that. We don't want a node, right? So here's a node that's cut, sliced, right? We don't want one of these in the place where we're going to be sawing. See, this is an obstruction, and we don't want that there, right? Just by the fact that we eliminate a node in the middle where we're sawing, eliminates a ton of work. That's just avoided altogether. So selections of your materials is half the battle done right there, like automatically. Like you automatically have what you need to start your bamboo saw. For example, you wouldn't, if you were going to get a Bojo spindle, okay, you wouldn't collect a crooked Bojo spindle, right? You would search and search and search until you found a straight Bojo spindle, and that would save you all the work, right? That's the same line of thought. All right. So we're not looking for spindles that are less than, I know that looks small. It's less than an inch. And there's a reason why we don't want less than an inch, okay? Because for the sawing portion, okay, when you're sawing, you have to have enough material, enough structure to support your body weight while you're sawing. Because if you, let me see here, I don't have anything. But if you don't, if you put pressure on both sides and you don't have enough material, enough support, it's just going to bend and possibly break. Okay, so you have to have enough material so that it supports your body weight while you're sawing. Okay, so you don't want pieces that are too small, too thin. Okay, so we're going for 1 inch in diameter at a minimum. In the same thought, just a 1/16 or 1/8 of an inch more in thickness is too much surface area. And you don't know this yet if you've never done this before. But when you're sawing, okay, imagine if you had a Dojo spindle and instead of having a Dojo spindle that was 3/4 of an inch in diameter, okay, you had one that was 1.25 inches in diameter or 1.5 inches in diameter. Now, the more surface area you have, the more pressure you need to apply and possibly more speed. Okay, so you're just making more work for yourself, all right? So we don't want to do that. We want to get everything to the correct surface area sizes we want automatically without having to carve stuff down. Just find the correct materials right off the bat. All right. So here's my piece of tiki torch, okay, that I was showing you last week. This is the piece, okay. Now here's what we're going to do. You're going to take your knife, okay, that I'm sure I said that it's, or at least it's on the list that you need, right? Okay. And we're going to find where it's 1/3 and 2/3. Can you see that on the camera? 1/3 and 2/3. And we're going to split there. We're going to start it off like that, okay? Now, again, you're supposed to not find bamboo that has cracks in it already because we're starting our own crack, okay? And we're going to carefully, okay, again, and you learned this, I'm sure, in one of our classes, don't cut toward yourself, right? Don't cut toward yourself. So get it on a surface, okay? And just work your way carefully down. It will stay within the grain, okay? Just work it down. There we go. Okay. And then you're going to have a piece that is 1/3 and 2/3. Okay. See those? Flip those around. 1/3 and 2/3. Okay. Now the large one, the 2/3 one, is your base. Okay. The 1/3 one is your saw. Okay, and it's easy as that. You now have your two pieces. If you have any frays, pull them off. Okay. Now, bamboo is wicked sharp. Okay. If I put my hand around here like this and I pulled, I would slice my hand open. That's how sharp bamboo is, okay? So this 1/3 portion still needs some preparation. So you're gonna take your knife, okay? And you're going to, I would also recommend doing it where you put your hands, okay? Because you don't wanna cut your hands. So right on the sharp edge, right on it, you're going to scrape it down. And by the way, you're going to save those shavings, okay? And you're going to see them flying off, okay? Just take the sharp edge off. Take any splinters off. And that's all you have to do. Then just do around the whole thing. Every exposed edge, just scrape it down dull. So I'm going up the saw. to the other side. Get the sharp edge. You're probably thinking, well, I want a sharp edge, right? I'm trying to saw something. Well, no, not really, because it's going to round off. You know, if you've done a bow drill or a hand drill, you know that when you do that, you notice it starts rounding off on the end. It starts turning into a half sphere. Well, the same thing is going to happen when you start sawing, so it doesn't matter that it's sharp. In fact, you don't want a sharp edge really for this bamboo saw. Okay, now the edges are no longer sharp, so I'm not going to cut myself. See that? I would not have done that earlier, okay? Because my hand would be bleeding out right now, okay? So that's our... Also, if you have pretty clean bamboo, sometimes there's paper in there. There's kind of a paper coating on the inside. You can save that for your tinder bundle if you wish, if it comes off in big sheets. Okay. Now, just for laughs, I'm going to do the same with the base. Okay. So I'm going to scrape the sharp edges down. There's one side. There's the other, and you can see that I'm saving all the shavings. Is there anybody there?
Got like 2 people.
2 people. Okay. So we have 2 people watching. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay? So we have 2 people.
Not including me.
Not including my son, Jake, who's in charge of the streaming. So there's some paper inside here. So we'll see if some of that comes out. Add that to the pile. Okay. So I'm done scraping. My saw, which is the 1/3, and my base, which is the 2/3. That's all done. Okay. Now I'm going to collect my shavings. All right, and I'm going to roll them up. Now I have a marble-sized piece of tinder. It's a marble-sized piece of tinder bundle. Okay. Now this is exactly what we need to get started for the Phyre Saw. So, because I'll show you in a minute how that's going to work. So, for you 2 guys out there, okay, this is for you. Are you caught up before I move on?
I'll tell you one.
Okay. So if you could write something in there that you're both ready to go, I'll move on. You could just write good to go or something like that.
Jason says hello from upstate New York.
Awesome. Jason says hello from upstate New York. I have family in upstate New York. They're in the Catskills. So I haven't been there in a while. So I grew up on stories of Rumpelstiltskin. Is it Rumpelstiltskin? No. Is it whoever that guy that went to sleep for 20 years or something like that, or 100 years.
Oh, you got 2 more comments.
Yeah, what?
3 more comments.
Okay.
Last Kindred's supposed to say...
Speak up, though.
Okay, they got paper from the bamboo.
Okay, right.
From the Netherlands.
From the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Wow. So we're international.
Sorry, lost you for a minute.
Okay.
There might be some streaming issues.
Okay.
And Jason's watching this with his 2 teenage sons.
Oh yeah, Jason. I said I would look for you. Okay. Glad you're here. So, are we caught up? Are we good? We good to go?
Wait a minute.
Okay. So you can see that that moves very quickly, right? So we go from a whole piece that we've selected to that we know is most likely going to work. Okay. If you've never done this before, you may not know, but I know. So we split it into 1/3, 2/3, just to recap. Okay. We took the splinters off that sometimes take place. Okay. We took off the sharp edges so that we don't lose a liter of blood while doing this. Okay. And one of these days you'll find out how wicked sharp bamboo really is. Fresh bamboo. Okay.
Oh, Jason said you were an instructor of his in 1998.
Oh, yes.
And just to be clear, save the sharp edges, shave off the edges off.
Shave them off.
Both pieces?
Both. I did both just for laughs. Definitely do it on the saw. On the 1/3. Okay. Definitely shave off the 1/3. You don't have to do it on the base, but it adds to the tinder bundle pile, and it just makes it safer that you don't get cut. Or if someone is going to be holding the base for you, right? Because you may need someone to hold the base for you. You're protecting them by them not getting sliced or having splinters. Okay, so that's for their safety as well. So we'll keep that in mind, right?
And he says, okay.
Okay, all right. So I'll tell you what, the next part here, we take the base, okay, and right in the middle, right in the middle and directly on top. Now, how do you know what directly on top is? Lay it on something flat, okay, and then make a mark straight across. So that's how you know it's directly on top of the curve, okay. Now what we're going to do is, without slicing through your hand, okay, because we don't want to do that, right? You're going to take your knife point, and hopefully it's not a brittle point, okay? You're going to put it on that mark, right? And you're going to slowly make a hole by turning back and forth. Now listen, before you do anything, okay? You do not want to put a lot of pressure. You do not want to put a lot of pressure while drilling a hole, okay? Because what's going to happen is if you do that, this is what happens. And we don't want that to happen, okay? So as you are putting enough pressure to drill a hole, do not apply enough pressure where you split the bamboo. If you split the bamboo, it's ruined. Like your piece is ruined. Okay, you can't use it anymore. So we're just going to put enough pressure to drill a hole very carefully. Okay, this is very important. This is not a step that I would rush. Okay, and whenever I do my demonstrations, okay, this step is always done. Just like when I'm doing hand drill, bow drill, or whatever, okay? My notches are already carved. Okay, so we're carving a notch, basically. This is the notch. This is what I'm trying to say. My notch is already carved because if you've ever done a demo in front of kids and a lot of adults, okay, if you start carving a notch for like 5 minutes, you've lost everybody. Okay, just so you know. But this is an instructional right here. So it's important that you see this process. That's different from like showing people that friction fire is not a myth, right? Friction fire actually does work. Okay. Now, you're going to go until you can see it peek through. All right, see I just peeked through the bottom. See that? That's when you peek through the bottom, that's when you start through the bottom. Okay, very carefully, all right? Not enough pressure to split the bamboo. This is a very key thing, okay? I can't tell you in the beginning how many sets I ruined because I was impatient and rushed through this process, okay? But if you're going to be doing a demo in front of people, you're going to demonstrate bamboo fire saw, you're going to have all of these steps already done, okay? You're basically going to show up with a set ready to ignite, okay? So unless you are teaching other instructors and you're teaching them how to do it for the first time. I've noticed there's a difference in, you have to know your audience. For example, today's audience this is definitely instructional on how to, from start to finish. This is different from, regular people who are, you're just doing it for educational purposes to show them how it really happens, right? Is your mother here?
Want me to get her?
Yeah, we should. All right, so how big should this hole be? Okay. All right, you see the width of your saw? Okay. There's the width, the thickness of the wall of the saw. You should put the saw on the hole and you should be able to see a little bit of the hole on both sides. Okay. You should be able to see a little bit of the hole on both sides. So it shouldn't be huge. See that? That should be pretty clear. I've never done anything I've never shown it to this extreme before. Okay, so you can see out through both sides of the hole, but it shouldn't be huge. Okay. All right. We are now ready to begin. All right. We're ready to start sawing. This is it. We're there. We're ready. Okay. So my son Jake, Jake is going to hold down the base because it's cloudy outside and I didn't think there was going to be enough good light. So in my workshop, I got 5 lights going on in here. So it's pretty, it's pretty bright in here, but I need Jake to hold down the base since we're not outside, right? And then when we're done, I'm going to go over what you would do if you were outside on the ground, okay? But I may have recommended that you need if you're going to do this inside, you need a really sturdy table, one that's not going to move. You need someone to hold the base, okay? So here Jake. I need him to hold the base. I think my son went to the bathroom. All right. Well, I'll just go over it now. All right. So, if we were doing this on the ground, let's say this is the ground, and I'm kneeling on the ground, okay? What I would want to do is pull out a trough here, like this entire section here of the ground. I would just pull out. So, and the reason for that is because if this is the ground, I need this space here for my hand to be, because it wants to go below the ground. Okay, so I would put a trough here, and then I would take sticks, right? I would take stakes, and I would X each side into the ground. Okay, so I would do that. So that's one thing. My son is here. Move some stuff, Jake. Mikkel. Yeah. So, you're going to go over there. You're going to go behind Jake. Over here. You're going to go over here. There we go. Sorry, this is our first time. Now you have to be okay. That's good. All right, so Jake, you're going to hold this. Okay, you need to stand up. So, okay, you need to point the camera here. Don't worry, nobody cares. Let's see. Jake can't see. All right, you're gonna stand over here then. You stand over here. Don't worry, honey. There's only 2 people watching. Are you gonna stand? You can stay just like that. Just like that. Okay. All right. So, remember this? The marble size piece of shavings that goes under here. Well, actually, that's actually too much. Also, here's a bag of velvet leaf cordage, right? So let's say this is it's not ready, but let's say this is our tinder bundle, right? You're going to have your large tinder bundle to the side. You're going to put that aside, right? So here's some dog bane, right? This is your large tinder bundle, right? So if you didn't have bamboo shavings, you would take a little bit of your tinder bundle, and that little bit of tinder bundle, okay, that marble size piece is going to go, okay, lift up, is going to go right where the notch is. It's going to go right under there. But make sure it doesn't push up against the hole. There has to be space. Okay, it should be loosely against the hole, not pushing up. Okay, you're not smashing the tinder bundle up into the hole. It's just sitting there. Okay, that's very important. All right? Because what's going to happen is you're going to take this out, and the coal is going to be in either one of 2 places. It's going to be stuck in the hole, or it'll be on your little tinder bundle. All right? Chances are it's stuck in the hole. That's what usually happens. All right? So your big tinder bundle is on the side. So I'm going to take my small marble size piece of bamboo shavings. We're going to put that under there. And okay. Now I'm right-handed, so I like to put my right hand on the bottom and my left hand up top. This is a lot like bowing with a bojo, okay? Because your dominant hand, your power hand, goes below. So it's the same thing here when you're sawing. My power hand, my right hand, goes below, and my left hand goes up top. Now there's 2 ways to have your left hand. You could have it like a motorcycle grip, Okay, like this. Okay, and I like to put my fingers on each side of the nodes, like this. Just as a kinesthetic marker where I am. Or you can have it like you're holding a spear this way, where it's over under, and do it that way. The thing about this way is that your knuckles are going to drag on the ground, which is why I say you got to dig out a trough here underneath, right here, so that you have space for your knuckles to not hit anything. And when you're doing it on the table, especially if you're doing demonstrations, you do it on the edge of the table here so that you can get your knuckles all the way to the edge of the table without hitting anything. See that? Okay. We're going to go the entire length of between the nodes is what we're going to do, right? When you hold this, you're not holding it, you're not going to hold this straight up and down. You're going to hold it slightly curved. Because what we want is the wall to go straight down to the hole. Does that make sense? So I'm not holding it straight up and down. I'm holding it slightly curved to the right. I'm right-handed. It's going to be slightly curved to the right so that the wall goes straight down to the hole. Okay, I can see both sides of the hole, and I'm ready to get started. So first you're going to mate it together. You do this the same with the bow drill. You're just mating it together. It's going to feel like it's sliding, but then the sound changes and you have friction. Try to go the whole length between the nodes. Okay. And what's going to happen is you can see it. I don't know if you can see, there's wisps of smoke already. So we have true friction now. I could smell it. So now's the time to go to town. So you're going to put your body weight on it and go as fast as you can. I'm blowing the smoke away as I go. Oh, all right, and here's what happens when it curves. Because I didn't hold it correctly. Did I get it? No. Like, this is really good to see. Okay, you can put this down for a minute. Thank you, honey. See, this burned on a curve. See that? It left the hole and burned outside the hole. And that's not good. So here's what we got. That is one of your most common mistakes that you can make. Here's the dust. It's perfect dust. But because I left the notch, you leave the notch, it drifted. That's called drift. Drifted out of the notch because it burned on a curve. So what that means is I got to do it again. All right, so now look at your saw. And your saw has a dip in it. Now, see that? And you notice that we went from the length of 8 inches to like 6 to 4 inches of like real friction. See that? So I'm going to fix that. Okay. How do you fix that? You have to actually remove that. So I'm going to start on the curve of the burn. And I'm going to take that off. Okay, and then I'm going to have a sharp edge. I'm going to get rid of that sharp edge. And then I'm going to go in the curve of the burn, take off that material, take off the sharp edge, and now my saw is back to normal with no sharp edges, and it's flat again. See that? I've re-flattened the saw. Okay. Now, I have to put a new hole. I'm going to go a finger's length away from the hole. I'm going to do a finger's length away from the hole. And you can go from the entire middle section all the way across. And it looks like a flute, like how you play the flute with the flute holes. Okay. So I'm going to do another one without breaking, and it's even more fragile now because there's a hole in there. Okay, I broke through, so I'm going to go on the other underside. All right. So these are some of the main problems that you will encounter. They never go away. Okay. You have to be careful when you're turning like this. You'll catch the grain and you'll split it. And then it's ruined. So you got to be really careful. So when you're doing this, you have to have a really light touch. If you think it catches grain, you just have to know and stop. Like right away. Okay. So we have our hole ready to go. See, that's pretty quick, right? It's quicker than you think it is. All right. I'm going to go again. Now my wife is in here again. Oh, you're here. I owe my wife big time for helping us out. Okay, so all right. So I'm gonna put this back underneath. Save the dust, by the way, right? Don't get rid of your dust. Okay, so that's back. Jake, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Now again, I'm just going to relax. Now I want the curve to go straight down. If you hold it like this, drift is what happens and it burns to the side, which is what happened before. Now I have to be even more careful and make sure. I haven't done this since I was in Canada in January, so it's been a while. This is the first time I've done it since January. Actually, I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to use the new edge on this side. Okay, because you can do that. You could flip this saw entirely over and use the fresh edge. And I'm going to do that this time. Okay, there's a sound change. So I know I'm getting friction. I'm starting to see wisps of smoke. So now this is the time where you go to town. Just keep going. Okay. Did I get it? Nope. All right. I wonder if my wood is too thin. All right. So I wonder if this wood is too thin. If your wood is too thin, then you don't have enough material to do friction with. So I'm going to try wood of a thicker set. It's thicker by maybe a 32nd of an inch. Just to show you what I have here. All right. So I have here a section of bamboo. Okay. And it's split into a third and 2/3. So it's exactly just like the other one. Okay. This one has no node for a foot, for an entire foot length. So I don't have to worry about nodes at all. See that? Here we have a third and 2/3. So I'm going to put a notch in this one. Carefully, not to split it. Are there any comments, Jim?
Let me check.
I'm not ignoring you guys, just focused, that's all.
Makes sense.
Makes sense, okay.
Well, that was from 12:30.
Okay,
All right. Good stuff.
okay, good. What? One more.
Yeah, Jason says good stuff.
All right, thanks, Jason. I'm trying. This is a science and an art form. So.
Oh, the third viewer is coming from my phone.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, we said we had two.
Yeah, that was and he loves it. Boz Kindred and Survival School loves it.
Who was that?
Boz Kindred. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Boz Kindred.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. All right, so.
Survival School.
Huh?
Survival School.
Okay, so we did not split our base. The hole is just slightly larger than the thickness of the wall. Okay. I lost my other. Okay. All right, we ready? We're going to try this again. So here's your mini tinder bundle, your marble size piece. Okay. That goes under the hole, but does not push up against the hole. You don't want to crush, you don't want to force the powder down by the resistance of the small tinder bundle. Okay. You want to give it you want the tinder bundle to basically go like this to receive the powder. You don't want it to resist up against the hole. Does that make sense? Okay.
Oh, the name means forest children in Netherlands.
Oh, so it's the guy from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna move all that over. Okay. All right, Jake.
Yep. No, it's thicker.
This one's a hair thicker. Has more material. Not as much as the one I showed you before, but it has more material. Okay. I've got got better thoughts about this one. Okay, I can see both sides of the hole. My saw is on a curve so that it burns straight down. I'm mating it together and getting a feel and warming myself up. I'm getting myself warmed up as to what I'm doing. You're just getting a feel for the motion. Okay, I can see wisps of smoke, which means I have friction. So now it's time for me to go to town. I just lean my body weight on it and just go. I got a good feeling about this one. This one's it. Okay. No, almost. All right, let's keep going. Let's just go again. Go, Jake. I may have stopped too soon.
Keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going.
Keep going, keep going.
Keep going.
Whoop.
It's under
Oh,
the
it's
thing.
inside?
It's inside.
Oh. Today's not my day. I think that one had a little drift. All right. All right. All right, so this is what I call it when I was working at tracker school. This is the demon of demonstration. So we're gonna take one finger's width away from the edge because I have to start a new one. When you use a hole, you really can't use it again. You're really done. Now there's five main drills: hand drill, mouth drill, bow drill, pump drill, and toggle drill. But there's three linears. The linears are Phyre Plow, Phyre Saw, which is this one, and Phyre Thong. And the Phyre Plow, Phyre Saw, and Phyre Thong, the linears, have only two components. The less components you have, the more intensive energy is required. So when you're doing demonstrations in front of people, this is very important if you do demonstrations. Do your energy intensive ones first. So if you're doing a demonstration and you're showing all of the methods, you would start off with doing Phyre Plow, Phyre Saw, and Phyre Thong, and then hand drill. Because hand drill is labor intensive. Requires energy because it's only two parts. But as you start going up in the drills, you start adding more devices. When you add more devices, it becomes easier until you get to like pump drill and toggle drill, which require hardly any energy. Because if you start off doing the easier ones when you're doing a demo and you save the labor intensive ones for last, you don't have any energy left to do them. And then That's not good. All right, Jake.
All right,
We're going for broke.
You want to hear the comments?
Oh, sure.
Jason says it is good to see you work through the issues. It's very helpful.
Yeah, I agree. It's very helpful. I have no problem showing people the problems I would rather show people the problems they're going to run into instead of showing it absolutely perfect, because really that's an illusion of how things would be in a survival situation or any situation, and that's unrealistic. That's crazy.
And he also says that his 2 impatient boys are already trying this out. Lol. His oldest said he got a cold but went out really quick.
It went really quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you probably had better materials than I do. And that's excellent. Is that your first call? Let's find out later.
And we have an extra viewer.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna go for broke again, honey.
Let me get this out of the way.
Just move.
Yeah.
Well, actually, give that again.
To focus.
That's right. Just click.
That's good. That's right. Well, at least somebody out there got a call. When I don't get a coal in front of people, I stopped sweating that a while back. Is it annoying? Yeah. Is that part of life? Yeah. So, all right. So we have our marble-sized tinder bundle under our hole, the new one. Okay.
Don't stop. Keep going.
All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm gonna try
Go longer.
and go longer, as you should for many things.
God.
All right, trying to keep it straight, getting my rhythm. I'm just leaning on it. Try not to push down with your arms, just lean on it. I might have been leaning too hard before, actually. I'm going to use more speed and less pressure. Okay. Hold on. I got to be careful I don't drop it. There we go.
Soft.
Jake, hold the... Oh, there we go. Oh. I earned that one. For me, it's not real until it glows. Okay, so what was I doing wrong? I was putting my whole body weight on it and getting bigger chunks instead of finer dust to ignite. Okay. Thank you, honey. I want to give thanks to my wife for holding the laptop. It's very kind of you. Thank you, honey. You're top quality. Okay. It usually goes much easier than that, but there it is. Jake.
We got some comments.
Okay. I'm gonna drink my coffee.
Yeah.
Okay, so your little tinder bundle then goes inside you just put this whole thing in the middle of your tinder bundle. Of course, I'm not using that. This is dog bane cordage. I'm not using that up in my workshop. And then you'd go to town. You do what you would normally do with a tinder bundle. After that, with your mini tinder bundle. Okay. Anything?
Oh, yep. Okay. Boss Kindred Survival School says that's awesome thing to teach his children. In response to working through the issues.
Oh, good.
And then Jason says he got it, but it went out right away. Is there something to do differently to make the coal last longer?
Well, even those coals that I didn't get, they still smoke a little bit, but they're not ignited. I think that's just smoke trapped inside the dust, which is just teasing you. It teases you because because I think if a coal was actually in there, it would ignite the dust around it and it would just keep going. So I think I understand exactly what you mean by that. Here's what I know that I was doing wrong. I was putting too much body weight on it, and which slowed me down. So here's what I end up doing a lot of times when I realize the dust. If you're familiar with what Bojo dust really looks like, okay, it should be close to what that is. But when I notice that stuff is coming off that's chunkier, it's chunky, I'm using too much pressure. And big chunks are coming off. And when big chunks come off, they don't ignite because they're too large. Okay? Okay, yeah, we're good, thanks. So, all right, so see this shaving of bamboo shaving, right? So if I did this, it goes up, right? Okay, that's a dust from Bojo dust. Okay, when you push too hard on a device and the dust comes off in big chunks, that's like this. It's nothing because it's a big chunk compared, right? Compared to a dust that comes off. This is a chunk that comes off when you're doing a bow drill or a Egyptian drill or a toggle drill or the linear devices. The linears like the Phyre Saw. So I was pushing too hard and big chunks were coming off and it wasn't igniting because you saw all the smoke I was getting. I should have, and I'm like, I should have something. So, but I've been out of practice for a while, so I forget, oh yeah, you have to make this minor adjustment and that adjustment. And you know, in a demonstration situation, it gets tense, right? But you don't lose your cool. But I've learned a long time ago that it's just, I just have to remember again, like getting on a bicycle. You got to get on a bicycle again, start pedaling again. So,
okay,
good.
There's more comments.
Okay, so we're gonna close up in less than 5 minutes. Okay, because I got to get ready for my nursing job. I got to go all the way to North Jersey, and that's a 2-hour drive. So if you guys have any final questions, please type them in now, and I'll try and get them answered, and then we're going to figure out what I'm doing next week, okay? I don't think it'll be I think we'll do a live stream a month, and then I'll do videos for the rest of the time, okay? So if you have any questions, put them in now. I mean, but I could always get to them anytime too. But if you have some now, I can answer it now, like right now.
Okay. A lot of comments saying, "Awesome, yeah," when you got the call.
Okay, thanks.
And you got a viewer from Japan,
Oh yeah.
Shigeru Yoshitake. I don't know if I said
Very
that right.
good. Very good.
I knew what you can do, but it's great. I watch you from Japan.
Yoshitake.
Yeah. I don't know his folks' name.
All right, hold on. Shigeru Yoshitake. Yoshitake-san, thank you for joining us. All the way from Japan. Tell Taku I said hello.
Yep. Maybe that is what really happened to my son. That was from 102.
Okay.
How long have you dried the bamboos for?
Oh, so there's a story behind that. So when I was when I was still a student at Tracker School, I wasn't working there yet. I started working there in '96. There was a fellow student named Larry McCoach, who I used to pal around with. And one day, he lived in Montclair, New Jersey at the time. And he said, "Joe, I got to show you this thing." And so I went over his house, and he had this old book, and it just had an illustration. It wasn't even a photo. I mean, we're talking like back in like early 90s. This is the early 90s. He shows me this book with this illustration of this guy with two pieces of bamboo sewing them together. And he goes, "I did this. I tried it, and it worked." And I go, "No way." Because I had never, not only had I never seen this before, I've never heard of this before at the time. Like this is the first time me hearing this. And so he busts out his bamboo and he just pulls off a coal, like just like that. And he did this from an illustration out of a book. This friend of mine, Larry. And so whenever I'm talking about my origin story on bamboo fire saw, that's exactly how it happened. Like it was just like a direct transmission of like somebody in your tribe, showing you a better way to do stuff. It's just so organic. It's amazing. And I always credit Larry McCoach with what I am able to show you now. You could thank Larry McCoach, right? Because it's everything that I would show you. It's just one big lineage that goes back thousands and thousands of years to people I can't even credit them because I don't know who they are, right? And I always tell people that friction fire belongs to all of humanity. So I never have a problem showing anybody anything because it belongs to you in your heritage just by the fact that you're a human being, right? So anyway, let's...
How long have you dried the bamboos?
How long have I tried them?
No, dried the
Dried them. Well, if you know, I asked you to get... I asked you to buy tiki torches, right? So the bamboo has to be not green, meaning you don't go to a bamboo grove and cut down something green, okay? So the rule with drying wood in the woodworking universe, okay, woodworking in general, people professionally woodwork. The rule is if wood is an inch thick, that takes 1 year to dry, okay? So I'm guessing that if you cut down an inch diameter of bamboo, that's at least a couple months sitting inside dry, okay, out of the weather, is my guess. Okay, so let's say I didn't dry the bamboo, but I'm going to say that bamboo's been out of the weather and sheltered for a couple months. All right, so let's just put it that way.
Okay. Will this video be available later, or we can save it for?
Did we?
Yeah, this.
You know what? I totally forgot. Did we copy it? Can we copy?
This will be like available for.
Oh, YouTube actually
it records the live
records it automatically. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'll make sure that it is posted for later. Okay.
And then Jason asks if this method could work with materials found locally.
So that's a different story. Okay, so domestic materials, you need a hardwood and a softwood. Okay, so here, let me start you off with these specific materials. If you're gonna practice, okay, I like giant yucca. Like I don't know if you can get yucca. I don't know where you are, but if you can get sodal, which is a giant yucca from the Southwest. Okay, this is like this is an inch and a half in diameter. Okay, if you can get sodal or giant yucca for the base, meaning you would split this in half, and this would be your base. Okay, and then okay, this is not hickory, but if you take this is also 3/8 inch hickory. It's bigger than a 1/4 inch. You need a 1/4 inch, and I mean exactly a 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch blade. I'm going to call this a blade of hickory. A 1/4 inch blade of hickory, which means that you got to get you go to Lowe's or a big box store and get a specifically hickory axe handle or a maul handle. That's how you can get hickory right away. Okay, and then you have to figure out how to cut it down to, and I mean exactly, a 1/4 inch blade. That's a foot long. You want at least a foot long blade, and an inch and a half wide. Okay, so your blade is hickory. Your base, you want to start off with either sodal or giant yucca. And if you can't find those, start off with an excellent bow drill wood for your base. Okay, and then if you have any more questions, just email me. Okay, but we'll start there.
Okay. Jason says cool.
Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Anything else? Any other questions?
They all just say thank you very much for doing the video.
Excellent.
Live teaching.
Well, it was my pleasure to do this for you. It was even better that I finally got a call. And but I'm glad you saw the struggle. As the saying goes, the struggle is real, right? So, and as I said before, we'll make the video available in the future soon, as soon as I have time. But right now, I gotta run and go to a nursing job right now because that's how I pay the bills. All right. So thanks for joining us today, and I look forward to figuring out what we're doing next month, and join us next month. Jake?
Yep.
Sign us off. Thank you. Adios.